Okay, so welcome to this film. We're in Bithnah, which is in Fujairah. It's about 15 minutes from the town of Fujairah. It's on the Masafi Fujairah road. You may easily have driven past Bithnah and not even known it was here. Now, the walk normally starts just down in the valley there, and there used to be not a dedicated parking area, but there's a big notice board. Now this is actually quite a well-supported trek. Emirates Nature and Fujairah Adventures, they built it, and I'll tell you more about why, because there is Etihad Rail and they funded the building of this trail. So even seeing what I'm stood on here, you can see that there's this sort of concrete and stone pavement, which is very nice. Down in the valley, there's a lot of reconstruction after those torrential rains that I've talked about in a few of the films. And there was a big notice board down there that had a map of the hiking route. It is signposted. Here's the first signpost. I've just parked here temporarily, and we're going to go. Hello, ladies. So let me go like this and go like this, and let's take a wander up. Now then, this is actually the first hiking trail that I'm making a film about that I've not actually walked on. All right, I have been here before. I've looked at the notice board. I was at an opening ceremony for it, where they told us all about the reason the trail was created. And the reason the trail was created, I'm going to stop just at these steps here and then look across. The reason the trail was created is because the Etihad Rail literally goes right through the village. And you can see the fort there, and I'm not sure if that's actually on the hiking route. As I say, I've not done this one. Just down here, there used to be a big notice board, and you can hear the construction down there. So Etihad Rail actually sponsored this trail, and there's a little tower. So when I came here before, there's actually somebody in here. Look at this, a very nice lady. Who's this? Do you want to say hello to anybody on the internet? Hello. So we could pass on the stairway. So I came here before and I was injured. That's actually quite a long way down. Don't fall off here. I wonder if that's actually been eroded with the water. So, and what I did was I sat here for about an hour whilst my wife there went exploring up the trail. So she has been here. She didn't get to the top, and if I just go like this and go like this and go like this, the top of the mountains that you can see is the top of the trail. How high it is, I don't know. How long it's going to take to get up there, I don't know, because the notice board is gone. I'll put the Garmin on, hiking, and start. All right, so I'll put the Garmin on. So we went up some steps, down some steps. We're on the Bithnah Hiking Trail. To the naked eye, you can actually see where the trail finishes. I'm certain you won't see it on the camera, but it's way up there. It looks quite tough, looks quite long. Sunset at this time of year is about 7 o'clock-ish, just before 7. Days are getting shorter. We've got plenty of supplies. Energy levels are high. So let's just see how this trek takes us. I don't know if you can hear the works behind, but there's about 4 or 5 excavators, tippers, Tonka toy type vehicles, and they really are cleaning out that wadi. And I presume they'll put the notice board back up. What I'll do in the description, if indeed it's not marked on here, I will mark on some sort of start and finish. Now, I don't know much about the start and finish. I know the start, where we've started, but whether that is the finish, I don't know. So I'll tell you more as we go along. Ah, what have you found? A feather. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
What do you think feathers are?
Angels.
You see, if you see a feather, pick it up because it's actually an angel. Okay. All right, so this is quite nice in that, as I say, this is the first hike that I'm making a film about that I do not know what's in front of me. So I had no idea. This is turning around to the right. I love it already. That's the truth. I love it already. And there's some steps up ahead. I feel like running. It's got great character. There's quite a steep sided wadi right here, right next to us. Look at that. I'll keep the camera running for a couple more minutes, then I'll turn it off and get down to the hard work of climbing up this mountain. It's lucky they found these steps when they were making this hiking trail, otherwise this would have been quite hard. And once again, I'm pleased I've kept the camera running because there is a notice board here. This looks very similar to the board that was down in the valley, so let's have a quick look. Here we go then. Yeah, this is what I saw down in the valley at the beginning, whether they'd relocated it here before the rains. Lots of information. Every year, millions of birds travel north and south through the UAE. These feathered friends are looking for comfortable temperatures and plentiful food for breeding and raising their young. Migratory birds can fly hundreds or even thousands of kilometers to find the right spot. Did you know that you're standing in the middle of an aerial flight corridor? 70% of 460 species of birds recorded in the UAE are migratory. Oh, hello, and 3 donkeys. I love it. Emirates Nature, I mentioned earlier, Etihad Rail, Fujairah Adventures and Fujairah Environmental Authority. These are the 4 agencies that were involved in creating this trail. And already this trail, there's significant more work. I mean, this is in a state of little bits. Don't forget we had those rains. Already this trail has got more work on it, more work done on it than quite a lot of the other trails that we've been on. Right, we've got some donkeys. We've got a welcoming committee up here. So I'll keep the camera running because what do you call a donkey that's got a sore leg? Wonky donkey. I'm sorry, my wife just said that's not very funny. That's one of the better ones that I've got. Can you see him up there? Donkeys are actually very, very good mountain climbers. Look at these guys running. Calm, calmer, calmer. Stay calm. There's another one, 4 of them. Don't worry. If that was the first time that you saw donkeys up in the mountains, quite rightly, quite justifiably, you might be scared for them. You might be thinking, wow, that donkey's going to fall off the cliff, it's going to fall down. I'm going to feel very guilty about this, but they are amazing, amazing mountaineers. There they are, they're all back together again, all four of them. Yeah, they're amazing mountaineers. It's not the first time I've seen that. One time I was way high up in the mountains in the middle of nowhere, and I don't know what I heard, I just heard like a landslide, an avalanche, a lot of noise, and it couldn't have been me that spooked them because they ran right past me. I'm talking like 1 metre away, and there were actually 4 donkeys the same, and 4 donkeys ran over the top of this little mountain and sprinted what would be, just imagine here, what I'm pointing at here, sprinted down there as fast as they can. And if you said to me now, run down there, well, that would be the end of my life. All 4 of these donkeys sprinted down. Great climbers. One time, a long time ago, I was a hero. I've been a hero a few times. You'll hear the story about me taking a child off a cable car, off a pommer in Andorra, before the child would have inevitably fell over a cliff and met a certain death. But I saved that child's life. But that's not what I'm talking about now. The time I was a hero was with Neil in Switzerland. And I used to work in a very exclusive school in Switzerland. And we once went exploring more or less underneath the foot of Mont Blanc. Right across Lake Geneva, you could see, from where we were in Switzerland, you could look across into France. And there were these mountains called the Jumels, and they were the twins as I remember it. Please let me know in the comments if I'm completely wrong on this, because this was 1994 to 97. So that's now, well, at least 25 years ago. I struggle to remember what I did yesterday, let alone 25 years ago. So we went off in search of the summit of these mountains, and we spent 8 or 9 hours summiting. We were fit. We were extremely fit back in those days. Not like now. We spent hours climbing to the top of this mountain, thinking that we're going to get this spectacular view back across the lake to the school where we worked. And once we got to the top of the mountain, there was no lake to be seen, and we'd been given some poor advice at the bottom. And we spent 8 hours, I kid you not on this, 8 hours climbing, proper climbing, a mountain. Oh, look here, so there's another route down here. I tell you what, I bet this does. This, I dare say, goes to the fort. We've come from here. That probably goes to the fort. You enjoying this? It's lovely, isn't it? So I'll put you back over my shoulder so you can see where I'm going. You see what I see with this. Yeah, you're right. My wife has just said this would be a nice trail for cross-country mountain biking. And I think she's right. Apart from those steps, there'd be a little push there, wouldn't there? But this, definitely. You have to contest with the occasional donkeys, because I can see all the hoof marks here. So they've definitely walked along here. I bet they loved it when this trail was opened. All right, so we got to the top of the mountain. We got to the top of this mountain, 8 hours summiting. We were extremely dehydrated by then. I remember wearing a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. Got there, and on the way up we saw mountain refuge huts. I'm talking probably 2,500, 3,000 metres up at this point, a long way up. Just to give you an idea, these are probably 500 metres, so 5 times higher than these. And so the story is, it's not a story, it's true. We saw this one goat. There's another donkey. What are they all doing? On the side of a cliff. And the internet didn't exist back in 1994. Honestly, it didn't exist. So to say that you didn't know, well, a lot of people didn't know a lot of things. I could easily have read a book and found out how good goats are at climbing, but I'd certainly never seen it, and I hadn't seen a YouTube clip of a goat on a vertical face acting as if nothing was wrong. So I saw this goat up there, and being the animal lover that I am, I said to Neil, I'm going to have to go and save that goat. I'll never sleep at night knowing that that goat has died and I haven't tried to save it. So I really did put my life on the line, climbing a sheer face. What on earth I was going to do with this goat once I'd saved it, I presume just put it under my arm and carry him down, and that goat would just be quite complicit in the whole thing, probably relax, give me a little kiss and say thank you for saving my life, you know, just be calm. So I scaled up, crack, 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 rock falls below, and then I got to within about 10 metres of this goat, and then he had enough. He just decided to trot off and ran up the side of the rest of the cliff, and I never saw him again. As I came down, what I thought was going to happen to the goat nearly happened to me several times. So, the moral of the story, goats are very good climbers, donkeys are very good climbers. This trail is absolutely brilliant. I'm already recommending this as a top hiking trail. I'm probably about 10 minutes further up now, that's all. But my thoughts, I've just gone through a series of sort of hairpins just there. Now I appreciate we just had the rains again, and whether this next few minutes is as good as the last 5 minutes, but I would say this is almost my favourite trail. I absolutely love it. There's been a series of about 7 or 8 switchbacks. You gain height very quickly on these. I'm not saying it's an easy trail. I'll give you, again, a bit of an idea once I know more about it, who this is good for. Once I've completed it. Right now, there's no reason why any fit and healthy individual or group of people couldn't come up here, even with this bit of water damage. Okay, we're out of there. I'll turn the camera off. Look at this view though, just before I do, so you can well and truly see when I say that Etihad Rail went right through the middle of Al Bithnah. So this is a bit of their CSR, giving something back to them, a bit of corporate social responsibility, investing in this fantastic hiking trail for them. I'm sure that makes up in some small part not only the train line going through their back gardens, which I don't suppose they mind. I've said that the trains aren't going to be coming across here. It's not going to be like Grand Central Station in New York, a train every few seconds. I would imagine there's only going to be 1 or 2 a day. Originally it wasn't going to be for tourists, but they have now said that they are going to do a tourist route on it, which I can't wait for. So I don't think it'll be particularly heavily used, this train line. It's definitely for industry, and it finishes in Fujairah port. It starts all the way in Abu Dhabi now, and I have heard that it's going to link in with Oman as well. So, what a wonderful, wonderful route. We've still got some ways to go. I can see the flag there. You won't see it on the camera, there's no point me spinning it around. I've span here because they've created a little vantage point here. They've made a stone bench, and it's so nice. My wife has said she's going to stay here and just absorb the view and just take in. It's absolutely wonderful. The sun setting over there in the west. Temperature's very, I don't know, pleasant at 30 degrees. There's a little bit of a breeze. Honestly, life is fantastic up here. So I'm going to plod on up now. And the good thing about this trail, apart from at the bottom where I said, look, there's another trail that probably takes in the fort, it's impossible to get lost. It's one trail up. I presume it's going to be the same trail down. But once again, I really don't know. I'll let you know as soon as I know anything. So even if my wife plods on slowly down the same trail we go up, I'll catch up.
Can you get some nice views on the farm?
Oh yeah, well I've got the camera now. So even my wife is saying, make sure you get these views of the farm because it's so nice. That's how nice it is. So I'm going to plod on up the mountain. I've been going 35 minutes now. Only about 1.5 kilometres I've gone. But that's kind of irrelevant because I'm stopping and talking. It's a great trail. Is it my favourite? Well, I'm going to say straight away now off the bat, whack. Straight away, it's a top 5 trail. I don't want to say that this is the best trail or that's the best trail. I don't like to say that because they've all got their individual characteristics and certain times of day and the purpose really. You know, why the trail was constructed in the first place. Will I come back to this? Absolutely, certainly. Is it a top 5, top 10? 100%. Which is the trail that if I had to, just say for instance, I was leaving the UAE tomorrow. I'd already packed my bags and done everything I needed to do. I was just a man at leisure for 24 hours. Which trail would I do? And I was just thinking about this. I think it would be the Geological Trail, right up in the north. I haven't made a film about it. I've written about it for a newspaper and taken a group of hikers on it, leading the expedition. I will definitely make a film for you because that's probably my favourite. It's Ain al Sharia. It's up in the north of Fujairah, and it's a wonderful trail. It's got the biggest petroglyph, I think, in the country on it. You go through. I took some, I think, deciding to have a chat on possibly the steepest part of the climb, with hindsight, wasn't the best idea. So let me just stop for a second. I say in my, there's my wife there. Hey! Oh, nice. I'm very jealous of her. No, I'm not. I'm loving it. I say in my film about tips, tricks and advice. Tips, tricks and advice on the mountain. If you're starting to get tired, when you rest, I'll put the camera here like this. When you rest, point your toes down the slope. And now my calves are relaxed. There's no pressure on my legs. Obviously, hamstrings are more relaxed. That then leads into my lower back. It's just much more comfy. Even stood like that, I'm under tension. Stood like this, you think, what on earth are you doing? So point your toes down the mountain. Right then, let's carry on up. Enough of this resting. So, Ain al Sharia, the Geological Trail. I've taken a group up there. I've written about it, but I also went up there with the National Rock Mining Company, Fujairah National Rock Mining Company. And I went up there with 3 geologists, and they told me all about the different stones, the Hajar Mountains, the age, this is limestone, this is chert, that chert's a different colour, that chert's red because it was oxidised at a certain time with water, that's green because of such and such. It was super interesting. And I'll rustle the link up to that article so you can have a read about it. And they talked about the formation of these very mountains that we're walking on now. The Hajar Mountains are on a geological fault line. It's not like the Ring of Fire that includes New Zealand and Japan and San Francisco, USA, you know, where they get big earthquakes. There is a fault line here. We're on the Arabian Plate, and just in the middle of the water in the Oman Sea starts the Eurasian Plate. And there are earthquakes in this area, but only very, very minor ones. And the 2 plates This gives you an idea of how minor the earthquakes are. The two plates are only moving at about a centimetre a year against each other. So not very much, don't worry. It's a very stable part of the world. Yeah, but the Geological Trail, it's got fantastic hiking, spectacular views. It's got a wonder, it's just everything about it. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to going back on that one, and I'll make a great film. Which, just before I turn this camera off, whilst I have a little bit of breath left, let me just turn around. Which leads me to say, very new on this channel, the English Explorer, do me a favour, hit the subscribe button if you like this type of content. If you like this film, smash the like button. Look at all the hard work I'm doing. All you have to do is go like this, like. YouTube then think, hang on a sec, this content's worthwhile. It's going to show it to other people. If you do nothing, literally, there are millions of films uploaded every single hour, every single minute. You look at the stats on YouTube, it's scary. And unless you interact with me by hitting the like button and subscribing, I get lost. But I'm not going to get lost on this mountain. Let's turn the camera off, carry on up, 40 minutes into this climb. Right, here we go again. Probably the last stage of this climb. I've been going 47 minutes. I just had to stop for a couple of minutes. And had a good drink. Very cold Perrier, love it. Love it, love it, love it. I can see a flag. Let me put it over my shoulder. You probably just make that out up on the mountaintop. Without wanting to keep harping on, not been on this climb before, so I don't know if that's the summit. I don't know if that's the halfway point, the finish, as it were. The rest is all downhill. But it certainly seems like we're reaching the upper part. If I was on Mount Everest, would this be Hillary's Step? At the bottom of the climb, I felt like I could run up. And now, 48 minutes into the climb, the reality, age, weight, fitness, etc., all reminds me all the time, what on earth have you done to yourself? How did you let yourself go so much? But hopefully I've turned the corner on fitness, and it's just a matter of time before I see the benefits and here on the mountainside. The principle of reversibility. I don't know if you studied sports science. Let me point there. There's my wife. That looks like she's coming up. The principle of reversibility. If you don't use it, you lose it. And what that means is, just say for instance, fitness you get in 3 months. If you then stop training and stop doing, look, now there's probably the surf, this is probably the top. Oh yeah. If you don't use it, fitness gains from 3 months, you lose 3 times quicker. You lose it in a month. Okay, so we're at a bit of a T-junction here. If I was coming from this way, letter T. That there looks more interesting than that there. And I'm only going to do one of them. So, I worked in America once, and what we used to do, I worked in America a few times. You get a stone, and you've got a big group of students, and you're on the mountain hike, and they're all getting tired, they're getting moody, they're there for the wind up, they're there to have the mickey taken out of them, and they'd be saying, please, how far to go? Which way are we? Oh, I'm tired. I don't like this. They've walked like 800 metres, and they've already finished. So we get to a junction like this, and we get all the camp counsellors together, And I kind of shrug my shoulders and say, I don't know where I am. Do you know where you are? And they say, no, no, no. Let's do this face on. Storytelling. Then we get this stone. We say, let the stone decide. And all these kids will, what? What do you mean, let the stone? Just, it's destiny. Whichever way the stone points, we'd know where we were going to go. Whichever way the stone points, we're going to go. And this stone is pointing that way. Let's let it guide us. And so we'd walk the way we knew we were going, and all the kids thinking that they've now been in the hands of some sort of lunatics who are letting complete random landing of stones choose the direction of travel. Oh yeah, come on. So, where did that story come from? Yeah, I am at the top. I'm confident that this is it. I love it, absolutely love it. So if you're in Dubai, you can be at the foot of this climb, just say for instance from city centre Mirdif. I know that's on the eastern side of Dubai. I'm going to say an hour and 5, hour and 10 minutes without being very naughty on the motorway, just being normal. Dubai Mall downtown, hour and a half. At the foot of this climb, ready to walk. No toilets, no shops, no amenities, no ice creams, just an amazing hike. If this is the top, which I'm very confident of being, this is a hike for anybody fit. You could get children up here. It's in a bit of a state of disrepair. So I'll tell you what I'm going to have to do. I hope this isn't a toilet. No. So let's just go in here and then have a look. Oh, it's big lizard. Okay, hello there. Hey, I can see you. I can see you. All right. My favourite are the Sinai Agama. The blue ones, they're absolutely beautiful. All right then, I'm in the tower. I'm watching out now. There's been all sorts of naughty colonial powers in this area for a long time. The British were here, the Portuguese were here, and amongst many others. Well, not many of us, but others. So I've just done my bit, looking up the valley, down the valley. No one's coming, safe. Have a shawarma. There are 2 butterflies having a wonderful time up there. Well done. The English explorer. Top Sound Al Bithnah hike. Let me tell you some stats on it. 55 minutes to get up here. To be honest, I could have done that 10 minutes quicker. So 45 minutes to get up quickest. Give yourself up to an hour and a quarter to get up here. 1.75 kilometres up. We're at 400 metres exactly here, 398. Total ascent from the valley, 234. Let me put this here because this will look good. 234. Hardly any descent coming down. What else have we got? 628. A compass, a map. And I'm back to there. 133 beats per minute for my heartbeat now, but I haven't done anything hard. I love it. I absolutely love it. Come to Al Bithnah. Oh, I was going to say about the trail. Last thing I'm going to say, I'll sign off at the bottom. I won't put the camera on the way down unless something significant happens. I'll sign off now, more or less. I'll say my goodbyes at the bottom. Yeah, the organisations that are involved, the Fujairah government, the Environmental Agency, Emirates Nature, Etihad Rail, Fujairah Adventures, these are serious agencies. They know what they're doing. I mean, this is a fantastic hiking trail. I can't imagine that the idea was to build this trail and then leave it and go to absolute rack and ruin. After 1 or 2 seasons, it be almost gone back to basics. So I'm sure they must have some sort of budget to maintain, if not even improve this trail. Not that it needs improving, leave it like it is. So don't be surprised if when you come up here, the trail is much better. But equally so, it's definitely passable now. I've just put the camera on really because the descent is amazing. Sun has just set, just gone behind the mountains. Obviously sunset and darkness to walk are two different things. So it's still probably got about 20 or 30 minutes of daylight, even though the sun has set behind the mountains. It actually hasn't gone over the horizon. In Dubai, there'll still be plenty of sun up. It's just that there's a big mountain range in between. But yeah, I love this descent as well. Obviously taking plenty of care. I'll just let the camera run for 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe I'll speed it up for the film. Okay then, we're down the mountain. It's taken me an hour and 33 minutes. We did stop for about 5 minutes on the way down. My wife and I had another drink of water and had a nice chat about things. Put the world to rights. Total distance so far, 3.61 kilometres. I'm going to go across here. I'm signing off now because it's got dark all of a sudden and this camera's not great when the light goes. Wonderful trail, thoroughly recommended. Bithnah Hiking Trail. Absolutely, I'll put more information in the description. I'll see you up here on the mountain. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. And any questions at all, put them in the comments below and I will definitely reply as best I can. Take care, everybody. Nice seeing you all. The English Explorer.